Welcome to another episode on the Truth Chronicles. Today, we journey back in time, delving into the life of one of history's most infamous figures, Adolf Hitler. Famously known as the Führer of Nazi Germany, Hitler's reign from 1934 to 1945 left an indelible mark on the world. His rise to power, fueled by charisma and nationalistic fervor, led to World War II and the genocide of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. Yet he was once an aspiring artist, a dream dashed by his rejection from the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. From his early life, his rise and eventual fall, we unravel the enigma that is Adolf Hitler. With each episode, we strive to separate fact from fiction, to bring you the unvarnished truth. Stay tuned on The Truth Chronicles as we continue to explore history's most intriguing figures. Remember, history is not black and white, but a kaleidoscope of truths waiting to be discovered. Until next time on The Truth Chronicles. Could one man truly wield such power to change the course of history, or was Adolf Hitler simply a product of his time? In the late 19th century, nestled in the quaint town of Braunau am Inn, Austria, a child was born who would grow to be one of the most notorious figures in human history. Adolf Hitler, born in 1889, would leave an indelible mark on the annals of time, forever remembered as the leader of Nazi Germany from 1934 to 1945. Like many, Hitler's journey began in humble circumstances. His early years were spent in Austria, where he moved to the cultural hub of Vienna with dreams of becoming a painter. These dreams, however, were not destined to come to fruition. Hitler found himself struggling, his aspirations of artistic success slipping further out of reach with each passing day. Yet, it was in this period of struggle and disillusionment that the seeds of his political ideologies were sown. As he grappled with his failing artistic career, Hitler found solace in the charged political atmosphere of Vienna. It was here that he first encountered the German Workers' Party, a group that would later evolve into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, more commonly known as the Nazi Party. Hitler's affiliation with this party marked a significant turning point in his life, setting him on a path that would lead him to the highest echelons of power. His early experiences, from his birth in a small Austrian town to his struggles in Vienna, and his eventual association with the German Workers' Party, laid the groundwork for the ideologies he would later espouse. These ideologies, deeply rooted in extreme anti-Semitism and expansionist ambitions, would shape the course of history in ways unimaginable at the time. From a struggling artist to a party member, the stage was set for Hitler's rise to power. In the confines of a prison cell, the world's most notorious manifesto was born. As Adolf Hitler languished in the fortress of Landsberg, he bore witness to his own ideological evolution, the culmination of which was a book that would indelibly mark the annals of human history. This was the birthplace of Mein Kampf, or My Struggle. Penned by Hitler during his imprisonment in the mid-1920s, it encapsulated his worldview, a blueprint for a future that would soon plunge the world into darkness. The book was an amalgamation of Hitler's personal experiences, political ideologies, and his own twisted interpretation of history. Through its pages, he laid bare his deep-seated hatred for Jews, attributing the ills of society and the perceived decline of the German people to them. This was the genesis of his extreme anti-Semitism, a poisonous ideology that would later translate into the horrific genocide known as the Holocaust. But Mein Kampf was not just a hate-filled rant, it also revealed Hitler's expansionist ambitions. He envisioned a Germany that would rise to dominate the world, a Third Reich that would last 1,000 years. His territorial ambitions were driven by the concept of Lebensraum, or living space, which proposed that the German people were entitled to expand eastwards, displacing or eradicating the existing populations. What makes Mein Kampf a chilling testament to Hitler's madness is how it essentially served as a roadmap for his future actions. It was here that he first propagated the idea of a pure Aryan race, superior to all others. It was here that he detailed his plans for racial cleansing and territorial expansion. The world had been forewarned, yet the warnings fell on deaf ears. When Hitler was released from prison, his book began to gain traction among the German populace, finding resonance with those disenchanted by the Treaty of Versailles and the socio-economic conditions of the Weimar Republic. Mein Kampf, a chilling testament to Hitler's future atrocities, was now out in the world. The madness had manifested and the stage was set for one of the darkest chapters in human history. In the face of a nation's despair, a charismatic speaker seized his opportunity. This is the story of Adolf Hitler's ascent to power, a tale defined by mesmerizing oratory and strategic manipulation of political events. Germany, in the early 1930s, was a nation in turmoil, racked by economic hardship, political instability, and a dispirited populace. Amidst this chaos emerged Hitler, a man with a vision and the gift of persuasive speech. His impassioned orations struck a chord with the masses, his words echoing their fears, frustrations, and hopes. He promised a new Germany, free from the shackles of the past, a nation restored to its former glory. But charisma alone cannot seize power. Hitler, astute and strategic, understood the political landscape and exploited it to his advantage. He manipulated events, twisting them to fit his narrative, painting himself and his party as the nation's only hope. A pivotal moment in Hitler's rise was the Reichstag fire of 1933. The Reichstag, Germany's parliamentary building, was set ablaze. The Nazi Party, quick to seize the moment, blamed the fire on the communists, stoking the public's fear of a communist takeover. This event was a catalyst, enabling Hitler to convince President Hindenburg to issue the Reichstag fire decree. This decree suspended many civil liberties, giving Hitler and his Nazi Party the power to arrest their opponents and suppress publications not friendly to their cause. In the aftermath of the fire, Hitler solidified his control. He persuaded the parliament to pass the Enabling Act, granting him dictatorial powers. He had effectively become the Führer, the absolute ruler of Germany, consolidating his control over the government. His speeches had captivated the masses, his manipulation of events had secured his position, and his vision of a new Germany had become a terrifying reality. The stage was set for the darkest chapter in human history, a period marked by war, genocide, and unspeakable horrors. With the Reichstag fire, Hitler had the leverage he needed to seize control. And seize control he did, marking the beginning of an era that would forever scar the annals of human history. Under the guise of racial purity, a horrific genocide was orchestrated. Hitler's leadership marked a devastating period in human history, a time when the concept of humanity was tested and found wanting. As the Führer of Nazi Germany, Hitler's twisted ideologies led to the systematic extermination of approximately 6 million Jews, etching a horrifying chapter into the annals of mankind. His regime did not stop at the Jewish population. Millions of other minority groups found themselves ensnared in the Nazis' brutal machinery of death. Romani people, disabled individuals, political dissidents, and many more were caught in the chilling grip of Hitler's malevolent reign. The Holocaust, as we now know it, was a systematic, bureaucratic, state-sponsored persecution and murder of these innocent lives, carried out on an industrial scale. The concentration camps, the gas chambers, the mass shootings, these were the tools of Hitler's regime, wielded with ruthless efficiency. His monstrous vision of a racially pure society fueled these atrocities, a vision that was not only diluted but steeped in a profound and abhorrent disregard for human life. These acts of genocide were not random or sporadic. They were meticulously planned and executed, a testament to the chilling efficiency of Hitler's regime. It was a genocide that was both widespread and systematic, an organized campaign of terror that sought to wipe out entire communities, cultures, and histories. The Holocaust stands as a stark reminder of the monstrous depths humanity can plunge to when corrupted by power and hatred. It is a testament to the horrifying reality that one man's warped ideology could lead to the death of millions. But it also stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the unspeakable horrors they faced, many individuals and communities found the strength to resist, to survive, and to bear witness to these atrocities. Their stories serve as a powerful reminder of our shared humanity, and a call to action to prevent such horrors from happening again. Hitler's reign of terror had left an indelible scar on humanity. Yet, it is up to us to remember, learn, and ensure that such a dark hour never dawns again. The world had changed irrevocably under Hitler's iron fist. Born in a small town in Austria, Adolf Hitler's journey from a struggling painter to the leader of Nazi Germany is a study in the power of charisma, manipulation, and the exploitation of social unrest. His early life in Vienna, often marked by struggle, undoubtedly shaped his worldview and fueled his political ambitions. In the turbulent 1920s, while serving prison time, Hitler penned Mein Kampf, his political manifesto. This book, which outlined his extremist ideologies and expansionist ambitions, became the foundation of the Nazi Party's policies. It was here that his deeply entrenched anti-Semitism was laid bare for all to see. His rise to power was not accidental. Hitler's charismatic oratory skills, coupled with his astute manipulation of political events like the Reichstag fire, allowed him to consolidate his control over the government. He ascended to the post of Chancellor in 1933, and within a year, declared himself the Führer, the ultimate leader of Nazi Germany. The darkest chapter of Hitler's reign was undoubtedly the Holocaust. Under his leadership, the Nazi regime orchestrated the systematic genocide of approximately 6 million Jews. But the terror didn't stop there. Millions of other minority groups, including Romani people, disabled individuals, and political dissidents, also fell victim to Hitler's brutal policies. Reflecting on Hitler's life and his political career, we see a man driven by a dangerous ideology, a man who exploited public sentiment and manipulated political events to ascend to power. The devastating impact of his policies resulted in one of the most horrific genocides in human history, changing the world irrevocably. But we must also remember that history, while colored by the actions of individuals, is shaped by the collective. Hitler's rise to power was facilitated by a society grappling with economic instability and political unrest. This is a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and unbridled hatred. Adolf Hitler, a name that echoes through history, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and unbridled hatred. The echoes of World War II still resonate in our collective memory, a grim reminder of the devastating power of human brutality. It was a time in our history when the world was turned upside down, a time when humanity was pushed to its absolute limits. This global conflict, sparked by the expansionist policies of Adolf Hitler, stretched across continents, involving more than 30 countries. These nations, drawn into the vortex of war, witnessed their cities crumble, their landscapes scarred, and their societies torn apart. The scale of destruction was unprecedented. Entire cities were reduced to rubble, from London to Moscow, from Warsaw to Tokyo. Infrastructure was devastated, economies were shattered, and the very fabric of societies was ripped apart. It was a war that reached every corner of the globe, affecting every facet of life, leaving no country unscathed. The human cost was immense. The war claimed the lives of over 60 million people. That's roughly 3% of the world's population at that time. These were not just soldiers on the battlefield, but also civilians caught in the crossfire or killed in mass genocides. It was a human tragedy of unfathomable proportions. The economic impact was equally devastating. The global economy took a severe hit, with many nations plunging into economic ruin. The cost of the war, in today's terms, is estimated to be around $4 trillion. The recovery was a slow and painful process that took decades. World War II was a dark chapter in human history, a time of unimaginable horror and suffering. It showed us the depths of cruelty and inhumanity that humans can sink to, but it also showed us the resilience and bravery of the human spirit. The world had never seen such devastation, and its roots lay in the ambitions of one man, Adolf Hitler. This was the man whose insatiable lust for power led to the most destructive war in human history. As we delve deeper into the horrors of World War II, we will explore how Hitler's aggressive policies led to this global catastrophe. Adolf Hitler, a name synonymous with tyranny and oppression, played a monumental role in triggering World War II. Born in Austria, Hitler rose to power as the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, more commonly known as the Nazi Party. His aggressive expansionist ideology was a major catalyst for the outbreak of World War II. Hitler's policies were rooted in a firm belief in racial superiority and a profound desire for territorial expansion, concepts that were outlined in his book, Mein Kampf. Hitler's first step was to rearm Germany, a direct violation of the Treaty of Versailles, which had ended World War I. This move was a clear signal of Hitler's intentions, but the international community, still reeling from the First World War, largely turned a blind eye. Next, Hitler turned his gaze to Austria, his birthplace. In 1938, he annexed Austria into Nazi Germany, a move known as the Anschluss. This was a strategic move, not only expanding Germany's territory, but also increasing its German-speaking population. Following Austria, Hitler's sights set upon Czechoslovakia, specifically the Sudetenland, an area with a significant ethnic German population. Despite the Munich Agreement, an international treaty promising to protect Czechoslovakia's borders, Hitler annexed the Sudetenland. The invasion of Poland in 1939, however, was the final straw. Hitler's forces attacked without a formal declaration of war, employing a military strategy known as Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War. This act of aggression marked the beginning of World War II, drawing Britain and France into the conflict. Hitler's expansionist policies were not just about acquiring land, they were a part of a larger plan for racial purification and domination. These policies were underpinned by a dangerous ideology that promoted racial superiority and led to the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. Hitler's policies and actions sowed the seeds of a conflict that would engulf the world. His aggressive expansionism and disregard for international treaties directly led to the most devastating conflict in human history. We remember Hitler not just as a warmonger, but as a harbinger of hate, whose actions serve as a stark reminder of the destructive power of intolerance and prejudice. As the tide of war turned against Germany, Hitler found himself cornered both by his enemies and his own failing health. Desperate and disillusioned, he retreated to his final stronghold, a place known as the Führerbunker, located deep beneath the heart of Berlin. By April of 1945, the bunker had become Hitler's world. It was here that he spent his last days, surrounded by a handful of his most loyal followers. As the sound of artillery fire echoed above, Hitler grappled with the reality of his impending doom. The once powerful dictator, who had dreamt of a 1,000-year Reich, was now confined to an underground lair, with enemy forces closing in. As the Allies advanced, Hitler's delusion of victory faded. His health was deteriorating and his mind was succumbing to paranoia and despair. In this state of desperation, he made the decision to marry his longtime companion, Eva Braun, in a hurried ceremony within the bunker. They pledged their loyalty to each other, even in death. Just a day later, on April 30, 1945, Hitler and Braun bid their final goodbyes. It is widely accepted that Hitler died by suicide, either by gunshot or by cyanide poisoning. Braun, too, chose to follow her husband into death, taking her own life by cyanide. Their bodies were discovered in the bunker, marking the end of Hitler's reign of terror. The man who had once held the world in the grip of fear was no more. His death signaled the downfall of Nazi Germany and the imminent end of World War II. Hitler's death marked the end of an era of terror and the beginning of a long road to recovery for the world. His downfall served as a grim reminder of the destructive power of hate and the price societies pay when they succumb to the allure of charismatic despots. In the ashes of Hitler's Reich, the world was left to grapple with the aftermath of his brutal regime, a task that would span generations. The name Adolf Hitler has become a byword for evil, his actions during World War II leaving an indelible stain on human history. This man, once a struggling artist in Vienna, rose to become the all-powerful Führer of Germany, leading the world into a conflict of unparalleled devastation. His aggressive expansionist policies led to the outbreak of the Second World War, a conflict that engulfed much of the globe and led to the deaths of an estimated 75 million people. In Europe alone, an estimated 1 in 8 people perished as a direct result of the war. But the war was only one aspect of Hitler's dark legacy. The Holocaust, a systematic state-sponsored genocide, resulted in the murder of 6 million Jews. Hitler's regime, fueled by a toxic blend of anti-Semitism and Aryan supremacism, orchestrated this atrocity with chilling efficiency. Concentration and extermination camps like Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Sobibor stand as stark reminders of the depths humanity can plunge to when driven by hatred and prejudice. His policies also led to the persecution and murder of millions of others deemed undesirable or enemies of the state. This included political dissidents, homosexuals, Romani people, and disabled individuals. Hitler's reign was marked by a culture of fear, repression, and widespread human rights abuses. The name Hitler has since become synonymous with ultimate evil. His actions have left an indelible mark on human history, serving as a stark reminder of the potential for brutality and inhumanity that can arise when power is wielded without checks or balances. In the aftermath of the war, the world vowed never again. The horrors of Hitler's regime led to the establishment of international laws against genocide and crimes against humanity, a testament to the enduring impact of his legacy. Yet, despite the universal revulsion his name now invokes, there are still those who deny the Holocaust happened or downplay its scale. This is why it's crucial we remember, study, and learn from this dark chapter in our history. The legacy of Hitler serves as a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink when consumed by hatred and prejudice. History, as they say, is our greatest teacher, and the lessons from World War II are ones we cannot afford to forget. How starkly this rings true. From the ashes of World War II, humanity emerged with invaluable lessons that continue to shape our world today. These lessons, born from a period of unimaginable darkness and despair, serve as a beacon of hope, guiding us towards a more peaceful and tolerant future. One of the most urgent lessons is the imperative of diplomacy. The catastrophic failure of diplomacy in the lead-up to World War II underscores the importance of open dialogue, negotiation, and compromise in resolving conflicts. It reminds us that the pen, indeed, is mightier than the sword. Secondly, World War II warns us of the perils of unchecked aggression. Hitler's relentless expansionist policies, driven by a toxic mix of nationalism and racial superiority, led to a global conflict of unprecedented scale. This grim chapter of history teaches us to remain ever vigilant against the rise of such destructive ideologies and to counter them with unity, understanding, and respect for our shared humanity. Moreover, the Holocaust, a horrific genocide that claimed the lives of 6 million Jews, stands as a chilling testament to the devastating effects of hate and prejudice. It is a dire warning of the depths to which humanity can sink when blinded by bigotry and intolerance. As such, the fight against hate and prejudice in all its forms remains as crucial today as it was then. Finally, the aftermath of World War II highlighted the power of resilience and the indomitable human spirit. Despite the devastation, societies rebuilt, nations reconciled, and the world moved forward. This resilience is a lesson of hope, a reminder that even in the face of the most overwhelming adversities, humanity can and will endure. In remembering the atrocities of World War II and the horrors of Hitler's reign, we pledge to strive for a world where such events are forever confined to the annals of history. As we wrap up another insightful episode here at the Truth Chronicles, we appreciate your time and curiosity. Today we've delved into the enigmatic life of Adolf Hitler, a name that echoes through history's hallowed halls, a figure who left an indelible imprint on the world. Remember, history is not simply a record of what happened, but a complex tapestry woven from countless perspectives. It's our mission at the Truth Chronicles to unravel this tapestry, thread by thread, to reveal the intricate patterns beneath. Join us again as we continue our journey, unearthing truths, challenging perceptions, and igniting conversations. From the ancient pyramids to the moon landing, from the depths of the ocean to the far reaches of space, the Truth Chronicles is your compass in the vast landscape of history. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking the truth. This is the Truth Chronicles, where history meets mystery. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next page of the Chronicle.